Right. So analysis or analytics for quantitative data for research. You're going to look at all the necessary details that will make your research work well. Okay. All the necessary data that will make your research work exceedingly well. I don't know what I'm sharing. Okay. But the thing says that I'm sharing the screen, but then my screen, let me just stop everything and I'll restart because I don't know what's happening. On my side here, it's not showing that I'm sharing. All right. So, I want to welcome all of you to the Valley of the Shadows of Research Methods. A little learning is a dangerous thing. Drink deep or taste not the Pierian spring. There shallow drought will intoxicate your brain and drinking largely sobers us again. According to Alexander Pope III, you either drink deep or you taste not the Pierian spring. The same thing with this course. You either do this well or you don't taste it at all. In life, it is like that. You either go all in before you go all out. So sometimes you may be interrupted with other activities of life. You may not feel like you are concentrated because you have a very disturbing environment, whatever. Bury yourself. The next 2 hours or so, bury yourself. You've committed some time. You've committed some energy. You've committed some money. You don't want this to go waste. You want to finish this thing and finish it in style. You're already committed. You already committed. Nobody has forced you. You have forced yourself. So win. Win at all costs. You either win or you perish. That's how life, unfortunately, is. Okay. And tell yourself, I'm a winner. Every time, tell yourself, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. I'm going to win. I will win. I will win. I have win. Okay, I have won. I will do whatever it takes to win this cause. And then after you're done, you're done. You can throw it all away because you made it. Greatness is born out of adversity. No test, no testimony. You got to pass through your Red Sea before you get to the promised land. You must pass through your desert, else there's no Canaan for you. Pain is necessary. A woman goes through 9 months of pregnancy. It's not because it's fun. On the day of delivery, the child can die. The woman can die. And yet women continue to give birth by heart. Because the woman continues to look at the bouncing baby child ahead of her. And that propels her to go through the agony of agonies. For those of you who are Christians, you always know that the only reason why he was able to allow himself to be killed on the torture stage was because of the reward he foresaw ahead of time. In order to build a tall building, you need a deep foundation. There is no Burj Khalifa unless there are 15 floors down the ground. No pain, no glory, no test, no testimony. Have these principles around you. Okay, you can say that I'm busy, doc. You don't understand. I'm very, very busy. I'm tight. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. My family is dying. My father. But hey, you can do all of it. It's no longer a jack of all trades and master of none. Now it's a jack of all trades and master of all. So tell yourself you will drink deep this course. And one of the things I tend to look at is, in the beginning, I said that, when it is 5 minutes to time, you can get off. So normally what I do is I watch those who stay. Even though, I've said that one can actually leave off the screen and turn off their video. When I'm teaching in other universities, which I am, it's compulsory for everybody to show their video. But here, you guys, I leave it for you because I want to see those, because when you are showing your face, you are committed. You are committed. When you know that a camera is watching you, people are looking at you, you are focused, you are committed. But the moment you turn off your screen, somebody will call you, you'll be eating, you'll be bathing, you'll be doing so many interrupting things. So I'm watching. I normally look at those who are ready throughout the journey of the shadow. All right, so that's the course here, okay? And everything here is interactive. You can see that I give 5% class participation as part of your mark. So I'll be asking questions. Those I'll be answering the questions. they will be getting their remarks. Everything is being AI driven. All this recording is being AI driven in such a way that the participants are going to be rewarded automatically by my AI system engineer. Be of good courage. You can master this material. You have conquered the course. Don't defeat yourself. Don't be negative. That quantity, I never liked it. Okay. Throw those ideas away. It's not easy. You'd never use that word in your life. Your subconscious mind doesn't take anything for a joke. If you tell your mind that I'm great, you are great. If you tell your mind I am daft, you are already daft. As a man thinketh, so he is. So let me know what is working and what is not working for you. Tell yourself, I will until, and you will. Put in the time, put in the energy. Anywhere is a walking distance if you have the time and if you have the energy. You got to put in the time. Sacrifices have to be made for things to work. Now, what's the difference between a research method and a research methodology? We'll look at that. We'll dig deep into that. The method is specific approach to executing a project or a research. The methodology is the science of doing all of that. The methodology delves into the core of how you get knowledge. It helps you to understand the stringent limitations that befalls you whenever knowledge that you are seeking. We will be looking at several multiple research methodologies here. We'll be chancing at most of them. We'll be digging with some of them. But before we do all of that, we'll understand something small regarding data. Because everything that you are doing is data. The whole thing is data. Sometimes they call this whole program data science. Okay. Data. What is data? Observation. I want you to look at me here, ladies and gentlemen. Who am I? I'm an element. I'm an element. I'm an element. I have several attributes. Some of my attributes are my name. Some of my attributes are my gender, my education, my employment, my marital status, my educational level, my color, my type of car I use, my house I drive, the places I go, my religion, so many things. I am an element. I have several attributes. My age, my height, my income, and so many things. The question is, some of these things are quantitative. Some of them are also qualitative. So the things I've just mentioned, can you tell me which ones of them are quantitative and which ones are qualitative? Who can tell me some? Raise your hand and then you tell me. Those elements, those attributes I just mentioned, which one do you think is quantitative and which one? Forgive.
So your name is qualitative.
My name is what?
Qualitative.
Okay, good. Who else? You pick anyone and you tell me. Which other one? Yes, Linda.
Sir, your gender is qualitative.
Good. Well, you pause small. You were thinking after you say your gender is. Your gender is. Okay. Yeah, that's true. My gender is qualitative. Okay. You got to know all of these things, okay? Because data is important. But it's not, you see, the quantitative or the qualitative is the type of the data. That is a type of the data. But that is not the information within the data. By the way, the qualitative is also called categorical, the quantitative is numerical. But the scale of measurement is the information inside the data. The scale of measurement. Okay? And we are going to look at all of these. I have the outlines here for you to look at. You can read more on everything here. And before we do this, let me ask you, what have you done so far in your research journey up until now, under the qualitative section? What have you done already? Just tell me some of the topics you've looked at so far. Would that be good? Yes, quickly. What have you looked at? You've done it already, so you can easily tell me. What have you looked at since the past few meetings? Yes, forgive.
one of the things we do is to identify research gaps.
Good. So you've learned how to
how to go
identify
about
research gap. What else?
Yes.
What else? Who else? Richmond.
Please, we have also looked at research proposal, how to write research proposal.
Good. I posted something on your page regarding research proposal. Did you all see it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so
Yes,
you've
sir.
learned research proposal, you looked at research gap. What else? Opele Cambio. What time on Cambio? Wisdom is the ability to see what is obvious, even when it is secret. I've given you the necessary wisdom already. So I cannot repeat myself to tell you the importance of participating in your own rescue. What else have you learned? Apart from research gap and proposal. What else have you learned?
We also talked about
Who's talking?
problem forgive,
Oh, forgive, yeah. You also talked about,
problem statements.
you looked at
Problem
problem statement. Good.
Yes.
What else? Is that all? Linda.
Doc, we also looked at the literature review, how to develop them and write them.
Okay. Literature review. What else? Dibabi.
Yes, sir. So we also learned about the purpose of research.
Research purpose. What else? Joseph.
Yeah, Doc, we also looked at how to do the referencing using the APA style.
Okay. Did you look at any software that you use for that purpose? Whether it's Mendeley,
Mendeley. Yeah, we looked at using Mendeley.
Okay. I teach these things. So I teach these things in many, many places. So I know all of this, just I'm taking the quantity part now. All right, okay. So you've looked at things, okay? You should be able to write a paper by the end of this course. You should be able to write a paper, but you need a methodology. That's what I'll help you with. Okay. All right, so let's begin. Qualitative research employs methodological approaches grounded in different theoretical principles like phenomenology, okay, humanistics, and social interactionism. We've done this already, where you explore social relationship, you describe reality as explained by respondents. You do a lot of interviews when it comes to qualitative research. Quantitative research uses paradigms more related to positivism and neo-positivism. Quantitative numbers, adhering to the rigor of work, you know. So quantitative uses more of measurement, things that can be counted, measured, you know, and interpreted. That's quantitative. The philosophical paradigm behind each one of these are well explained in the literature. And so I will not go deep into any of those. But what I want you to know today are the stages of doing a research. The stages of doing a research as it relates to analytics, as it relates to business analytics. You got to identify and define the issue at hand. That's the first thing. You will do this in your life, in your course. You got to identify the purpose of the investigation, the hypothesis to be tested. You got to identify it. What is the difference between a hypothesis and research questions? You can tell me. I'm sure you guys have done it. What is the difference between a hypothesis and research questions? What's the difference? What is the difference between a research hypothesis and research questions? A research hypothesis is the statement from which the research questions are developed. So, for example, if you say that socially, Socially responsible firms, or you ask the research question, are socially responsible firms more profitable? That's a research question. Are socially responsible firms more profitable? Now, you change that thing and say socially responsible firms are more profitable. That is a hypothesis. That is a hypothesis. So the hypothesis is the statement emanating from the questions. Guys, you got to know this, and I know you know it. So you should be able to identify and define the problem, the purpose, and the hypothesis. Second, you need to set up a theoretical model. For this course, how? You must have a theoretical model. In your thesis, are you guys aware you'll be writing a dissertation? In your dissertation, some of whom I will be supervising. Some of you I'll be supervising in that process. By the way, are you guys aware? Are you guys aware that you have to write a hypothesis? Sorry, a dissertation for this whole program? Are you aware, David?
We've even started.
You started?
Yes, please.
Okay.
On chapter 1.
Oh, good. So you already started your hypothesis and all of that. So you will come out with a theoretical model and then decompose a problem, choose variables, formulate reasonable assumptions, define the scope of the work. You will do that. You must have probably already done that. Okay. You will formulate a model. You will develop a mathematical or statistical model. What is a model? A model is a representation of reality. So if I take a picture, okay, of myself, a selfie, and I look at that picture, what is in there on my phone is a model because it's representing me, the reality. That is a model. It's a representation of reality. And you got to develop that, identify the problem with that, identify the relationship between variables, establish a functional form, whether you're going to use a linear form, nonlinear form, parabolic, quadratic, anything that you want to look at. You establish that, and then you solve the problem using a software. Okay, most of you know about Python, but some things R will probably be able to do it. So you don't limit yourself to Excel, SPSS, Lizero, or Python alone. You may at some point need Stata, or you might need R, which is the one I love the most anyway. So understand that issue. Then once you've gotten your analysis done, you will interpret the results. You will evaluate the results in alignment with the problem you've defined. If they don't align with the problem, you identify and understand why. You don't force it to align, but you rather identify why. You try and find the reason why your results is in tandem or is in disagreement with the, those of others. And usually theories will help you to validate such purpose. All right, then you will generalize your results if it is generalizable at all. You evaluate if the model and the results can be broadly applied to similar situations in real market systems. If so, you acknowledge that a contribution to knowledge has been made. If not, you recognize that a significant issue has occurred at some stage of the process. You report your findings, you document and present your results, and show all methodologies, analysis, conclusions, and implications. These are the stages of research as far as your area is concerned. But the area I'm targeting more is the method you need to be able to do your work. And the method is supposed to be quantitative for our purpose here. You've looked at qualitative. The quantitative research data will require questionnaires, surveys, observations, experiments, and open sources. But here is a real deal for today. Before you undertake any quantitative research, you got to have data. So you told me that you've all collected you started your chapter 1, and you said you've completed your chapter 1, probably. My question to you is that, which of you has been able to collect his or her data? Out of all 17 of you, is there anyone here who has been able to collect his or her data? If you have been able to do that, raise your hand. Is there any one of you who has been able to collect his or her data that you are going to use for your research? So it means that you've not done your research at all. So whatever you indicated with the chapter 1, you must know the data you are going to collect in the first place. Okay. Now, let me go and show you something. So here we have data. Okay. You have data. Data can be split into two, quantitative or qualitative, and then quantitative. Now, under the quantitative, and this is qualitative, or better still, this is categorical and this is numerical. Please, when you're writing categorical and numerical, use the full name. That is the data type. Okay. So categorical or numerical is the data type. This thing doesn't show well. Let me see what I can get a better space. Okay. So you have data. And then with this data, you have categorical and then you have numerical. Under the categorical, and these are the types of data. Under the categorical and the numerical, we have scale of measurement or level of measurement. For example, under the categorical, the level of measurement can be nominal or it can be ordinal. Write this down because this is where you're going to do your test from. Okay. You have nominal and you have ordinal. I'll explain the two. Under the numerical, you have interval and you have ratio level. What is the difference between the nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio? Well, the thing is that, first of all, you see from here that the nominal is categorical. In other words, they are qualitative. But then the nominal and ordinal are categorical, and the interval and ratio are both numbers. That's the first thing. Write it down. Write it down. You see, I keep saying write it down because your brain has got something in it called dopamine. Your brain is able to communicate with your fingers. So the more you write something, your brain elevation increases by 47 notches. That is how I learned. That is how I was able to do well in my learning. Okay. So be used to writing for your own self. You see that your brain is able to think better whilst you are writing. So nominal and ordinal, they are both categorical, but what's the difference? Well, the difference is that nominal, first of all, the similarity is that nominal is a label, it's a writing, it's English. Ordinal is also a label, a name, a writing. So what is the difference? The difference is that in nominal, there is no intrinsic ordering. That's a key word. There is no ordering, ranking of items. There is no intrinsic ranking. What you have is just names without any ranking attached to it. But with ordinal, there is ranking. There is an intrinsic ordering in there. Let's take an example of these two things I've just spoken about. Let's say we have something like Kofi. We have something like religion. We have something like educational status. We have something like food type of food. We have something like marital status. Marital status. We have something like position in a company. So here comes my question. Let's start with Kofi. Is it nominal or ordinal? Who can tell me? Joseph.
Doc, please, it's nominal.
Why?
Because it's a label. It doesn't have any intrinsic ordering that comes with it. It's just a name.
So give me multiples of that. That would have made your point stand out.
So, for example, if I want to even talk about names, all of us over here, our individual names are unique, and they identify each and every one of us.
Good. So examples are Kofi, Ajwa, Ama, Ya. All of these, there is no importance attached to Kofi than Ajwa or Ama than Ya. There is no importance attached to them. That is why it is. What about religion? Is it nominal or ordinal? Religion. Nominal or ordinal? Anybody? Well, because you're a Christian, you're confused. Because you're a Christian, you're confused as to whether religion
is
nominal.
Nominal. It's nominal.
It's nominal. Yes, religion is nominal. Educational status. Educational status. Yes, Joseph. Forgive.
I think that's odd now, because for educational status, there can be various levels of educational status. So it can be master's degree, it can be undergrad, it can be doctorate degree, it can be professorial degree and all.
Good. It is correct. Marital status. Marital status. Marital status. Some of you are already confused before we started. Yes, Abuda.
Well, I think it's confusing, but I think it's.
Oh, it's not confusing at all.
It's nominal.
Yes, it is nominal. Single, married, widowed, divorced. There is no order of importance. You can be single, get married, come back to single, okay? Or single, get married, get divorced, come back to single, or get married, get divorced, and then get widowed, and then come back to married. So there are so many situations. There is no, you can't say that being divorced is better than being married. Being single is better than being married. No, being widowed is better. None of them is better than the other. The moment you cannot rank them in order of importance, it's nominal. Food type. Kokonte banku, watch food type. What is the level of measurement here? You see, I'm giving you as many examples so that you can understand where we are going.
Nominal.
It's nominal. Positions in the company.
Ordinal.
Very good. So now you can understand what nominal and ordinal is. One has got an intrinsic ordering. The other has no intrinsic ordering. Fantastic. Let's go to interval and ratio. The thing about interval and ratio is that both of them are numbers. But whereas interval looks at the gap between numbers, ratio looks at the numbers themselves. not the gap between the numbers. Ratio looks at the point estimate, the numbers themselves, and not the gap between the numbers. So let's take an example. And I need your answer here. Who can tell me this? What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees? And 90 degrees and 100 degrees? I'll give 2 marks for that because this is a special question I'm asking. What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees, 90 degrees and 100 degrees? Okay.
The difference is 10 degrees.
That is wrong. Victoria. Victoria.
So I was going to say 10 degrees each.
Okay, so that's wrong as well. Watch my question carefully. What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? I've asked this question to over 10,000 people during this course that I teach. And since then, 2020 was the only first time somebody would give me a correct answer. So let me see whether there are smart people here. Dibali.
So the 80 and 90 degrees are the ratios. And then the gap, the figures in between 80 and 90 are the intervals.
Okay, that's wrong. What is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? I wasn't even asking you for ratio or interval or anything.
Rob, Doc, I think it's 20 degrees. 20
Okay,
degrees.
that's wrong. Yes, Vic.
Negative 10 degrees.
That's wrong. So you see, so I'm not surprised because it's a very tough question for some people, unless you are here, unless you are, I mean, not just here, but you are fully billion% here. That is when you'll be able to focus, because I'm going to give you, these are some of the things I'm going to give you all the time. All right. So the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees is 10. The difference between 90 degrees and 100 degrees is also 10. But my question was, what is the difference between 80 degrees and 90 degrees and 90 degrees and 100 degrees? So in other words, I'm asking you, what is the difference between the 10, the first 10, and then the second 10? What is the difference between 80, 90, and then 90, 100? 80, 90 is 10. 90, 100 is 10 as well. So what is the difference between the two? Zero.
Zero.
And I'm not vacant, and I'm negative 200.
So I said negative 10.
Ah, okay. It's the same thing. 10 and 200, they are negative. But you tried. I mean, you're better. You're able to say something and then think it through. Now, what I just gave you is an example of an interval. An interval data does not consider the number, but the gaps between the numbers. So what was important was not the 80 and the 90, but then the gap, which was a 10. Let me ask you something. Suppose your colleague comes to you to ask you, what mark did you get in research methods? And you told your colleagues that you had 81%. And your colleague started laughing at you. And you asked your colleague, why are you laughing at him? He said, 81. I had 98%. Why would you laugh at your colleague rather? Raise your hand and tell me. Why would you rather now laugh at your colleague for actually laughing at you? Are you thinking? Yes, forgive.
Prof, I think when grading between 81 and 100, it's so it doesn't matter whether there is no difference between 81 and 98.
Correct. Excellent. See, forgive because you've been trying. Nature has a way of rewarding you. You should read a book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I mentor people. I mentor 19 people. Each one pays me $5,000. Every 6 months, every time. 19 people in 11 countries, and I give them books to read every month. One of the books I give them is called The Alchemist. There are 190 books I give them over the course of many years. And The Alchemist tells you that some way, somehow, the more you consistently do something, you get fortunate. It's not that you are good, but you get fortunate because you are consistently doing. Okay, so the laws of probability will come to your aid. So if you check, most of the people who have made great impact in the world, majority of them are not that special like that. They are not doctors, they are not professors, they are not great like that. Some of them are even university dropouts. The people that are making the mobile phones and engineering the computers and bringing top level, AI system, they are not that. But they have tried and failed and tried and failed and tried and failed and tried and failed. That is what brings out the uniqueness. Consistent actions lead to consistent results. So you hit the nail on the head because you are trying. You are here. You are 100% here. You are not partially here, but you are fully here, participating, showing your face. That is what makes the difference. So let's go back to ratio. The thing about ratio compared to interval is that ratio is a number. It's a single number. It can be counted, it can be measured, it can be detailed. But what makes ratio even more powerful is that it can include zero, unlike interval. Take note of that. Ratio must include zero. So for a data type, for a level of measurement to be considered as ratio, it must have the possibility of getting zero in it. Let me give you a couple of examples so that you don't get confused. But keep this in mind that it must have zero. That is what makes ratio. Ratio is the highest form of the level of measurement. It's the highest because it's not subjective. It is objective. Number, not a gap. Oh, not 80 to 100 for you to say, hey, then there are so many possibilities. It is exact. Take something like money. Money is ratio. Why? Because it can be zero. Now, under what circumstance can money be zero? Suppose I ask you, David, how much do you have on you right now? What would you say? How much do you have on you?
I say not much.
Hmm?
I say not.
Oh, Master, I say not much. How much do you have on you? I didn't say how much money do you have. I said how much do you have on you right now?
200 cedis.
200 cedis. Joshua.
Yes, sir.
Joshua, how much do you have on you right now? Forgive. Get ready.
Zero cedis.
Yeah, you have nothing. So that is zero. So the fact that one of you could have zero makes money a ratio data, a ratio level. Take note because you're going to do a test right now. And it's important. And the test, you're going to see that in the test, you have 1 minute to answer every question. And there's something that will stop you from answering the question. So it's important your brain is sharpened to what we are doing. Let's take age. I can tell you that age is ratio, which means that age can be zero. The question you got to ask yourself is that under what circumstances could age be zero? Who can tell me? By the way, my channel, you should be subscribing to that channel because everything I say, I discuss, questions and everything, they are out there plenty. Okay, so who can tell me? Yes, Jubadi.
So when a baby is born, between before the baby is 1 year old, we say the baby is 0 years old.
Yeah, are you sure? You see, your mouth was shaking when you were talking. You said that before the baby is 1 year, we say the baby is 0. No, that's not correct. Under what circumstance is the age of a baby 0? Rashida. Now Rashida is back for the first time. Under what circumstance? Nobody in this room.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so for me, I think it's right at birth. Once they give birth to the baby is 0.
No, that's not correct.
Okay.
At what point is the age of the baby 0? And please don't forget the answer you just gave. You said right at birth. And I said no. At what point is the baby 0? David?
Let's say at inception.
When the baby is where?
When the baby is being made.
Where? Where? We say where is it?
When the baby is being made.
Oh, you said that. And I said, where is that? In the
bedroom.
Sorry?
In the bedroom. In the bedroom.
What is in the bedroom? Your mind is, yes, forgive.
The baby's age is 0 at birth.
But somebody has said at birth, and I said that is not correct.
Okay, sir. Okay, I think it depends on the way you want to measure it. Are you measuring by months or
the one who was close was David, and he was just messing up. He was just messing up. You know, he was using bedrooms and things. Yes, Victoria, help them.
Hey, please, it's there when the sperm meets the egg.
Where is that?
That's in the woman's thing.
Exactly, in the womb. In the womb. So I asked him, where is it? And then he's in bedroom. Like where his mind was. I don't know why he's eating this. Is a bedroom. Okay, you said when the baby is being formed. So anytime the baby is in the womb of the woman, that baby is 0 years. Take note, in case you don't know, you are learning. It's okay, but you're learning. We don't talk about the age of the child at that stage. We talk about the age of the pregnancy. It is the age, that 9 months is not for the baby, it's for the pregnancy. Age is counted in the moment the child is born. That is when age begins. But the age, don't say that before 1 year, because age is counted in seconds, in minutes, in days, in months. There was a battle between the 8 billion child. When the 8 billion child was born, the 2 women were claiming that their child is the 8 billion child. One all the way in California, the other all the way in Hawaii. They had to make sure to check at what time. The timing was so close that one of them who won was 18 milliseconds. 18 milliseconds older than the other child. So you see, if a child can be 18 milliseconds older, how can he tell me that anything below 1 year is not age? I have a friend here. When that professor's child was born, you know, I said, how is it? He said, so I'm a father. I said, wow, congratulations. Okay. And then he says, yes, so my baby is 6 hours old. That's what he said. My baby is 6 hours old. Okay. So don't say that he's not up to 1 year. He's not up to 1 year. See, that's the way we talk in language. He's not up to 1 year. He's 6 months old. He's 2 days old. He's 7 days old. He's 6 weeks old. Okay, got it. Age. So age is ratio. Height is ratio. Even though you can measure the height of the child in the womb, you can measure the weight of the child in the womb, okay? You can give those rough estimates. It is still considered as 0 because the child is not out yet, where age begins. Another thing that can be ratio is time. Time. You know time? Who can tell me under what circumstance can time be 0? Time. Under what circumstance can time be 0? This one is tough. You have to think. Time can be 0. Suppose Usain Bolt is about to run, and they said, on your marks, get set. On the screen at get set, what number is that? What number is that on the screen?
0.
At today?
0.
0. That's it. It's 0.00. So that's a clear indication that time can be 0. So guys, you got to understand all of these things that we have been able to do. Now, before we delve into the test, I want to give you something that we will discuss together. It's a test, but it's not really a test because it's a test for the group. It's a discussion so that you will be able to appreciate what we are actually going to do pretty soon. All right. So here is a question I'm about to give you. This one is going to be, but before we go into the test itself. Identify the type of data and measurement scale. So please watch it. First of all, you need to know that the data are of 2 types, categorical, numerical, and never shortcut them. Use full name. Okay. The data type is categorical or numerical. The scale of measurement or the level of measurement is whether it's nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. Please note, every nominal ordinal is categorical. Every interval ratio is numerical. So if you write ratio and you go and write categorical for ratio, it means you don't understand where you are. The same way if you write nominal and you go and say that nominal is numerical, then again, you don't understand. So let's try with this. Okay. I'm giving 2 marks to each person who gets this correct. So let's start with this. An opinion poll was taken asking people which party they would vote for in a general election. Tell me whether it's categorical or numerical. Then tell me whether it's nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. Raise your hand here and tell me. This is a discussion, but I'm giving marks for that. Who will start? Joseph.
Doc, please, first of all, I think it's categorical and nominal in nature because you see that they are voting for party A or party B.
Correct. That's perfect answer. And that is 2. There's no problem with that. Let's go to the next one. If you don't understand, that's when you can raise your hand. Explanation. A market researcher stops you on the Spintex Road and asks you to rate between 1, strongly disagree, and 5, agree strongly. Your response to opinions presented to you. What is the data type and what is the level of measurement? Raise your hand and tell them.
Okay.
What is the data type? Raise your hand. And what is the level of measurement? Forgive.
So it's quantitative and it's ratio.
One more time. Are you sure?
The data type is quantitative and the measurement is scale ratio.
Very good. So that is wrong. That is wrong. Let's go to one last option. Victoria.
Sir, please, it's interval under numerical.
Is interval
Because
under
under
numerical?
numerical.
That is also wrong. And I will not give the chance to anybody else to give an answer. So this is pure example of ordinal, which is categorical. Why? Because the disagree strongly and disagree and agree strongly are examples of Likert scale, which the numbers you are seeing, they are just coding. They are just codes for the, you can say that let a man be 0, let a woman be 1. It doesn't mean that the woman being 1 is better than the man being 0. Okay. If somebody says that I disagree strongly, sorry, in the case of a man and a woman, you can even code them and it still doesn't mean. But suppose you say that someone is a lecturer and another is a professor. You can see that just mentioning a lecturer and a professor is higher than a lecturer. So you can say that let's give a code of 2 for the professor and a code of 1 for the lecturer. In that case, that 2 will have meaning. It will have meaningful ordering. But then, in this coding here, a man is 1, a woman is 2. That 2 for the woman doesn't have any meaningful coding for you to say that because the woman is 2, it makes the woman better than the man. So it is very important to know that coding doesn't necessarily mean that there is an order of importance. And this is a typical example of ordinal. Ordinal, the focus is on the possibility of ranking them in your head. But it's not on the numbers, it's on the words. The numbers are just coding for the numbers. Let's go to the last one. Incomes of Ghanaian musicians. What is the data type and what is the level of measurement? Joshua, you are muted.
The data type is numerical and it's ratio.
Perfect. That's it. It's numerical and it is ratio. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've been able to go through some exercises with answers together. At this stage, you are ready to do your test. So let me tell you the rules of engagement. You see, when you go to the chat, you have my name there. Okay. You are going to use that, my name, and you're going to present your answer to me under 60 seconds. Every question will be displayed to you, and you will give me the answer under 60 seconds. Now, let's say that there is something you have asked, and within that 60 seconds, you're supposed to tell me the data type and the level of measurement. If it is categorical and numerical, this is how you should type it. You should type it as categorical, okay, comma, and if it is nominal, you type it as nominal, just like what I've just put in the chat room. Take note. Suppose the thing is numerical, okay, and then it is interval. You just type it as what I've just put there, numerical, and then interval. Please don't make a typo. If you make a typo, everything is wrong. Take note. Now, suppose it is categorical and it is nominal, but you didn't write nominal, you rather wrote to ratio. Since categorical is not ratio, everything is wrong. You will have to send me these answers within 60 seconds privately. Privately means that in your chat, you should go there and then select my name because your thing is going to come to me privately. If you put it in the main everyone page here, you have shown your answer and it's not correct. Now, at what point will you stop when it is 60 seconds? I will type the word stop like this, okay, and I'll put this symbol here. You will all see me type stop. The moment I type stop, after the 60 seconds, anybody whose result will show, that result will not be marked. Guys, this is a test. It's going to go into your continuous assessment. Please pay attention. Those are the rules of engagement. Please, anybody with any question? Anyone with any question? Fantastic. So may the good God be with all of you. And may you show by the end of this exam, may you show that you made it. You did it regardless. If you cheat, it's not correct. It's wrong for you to cheat. Don't make any attempt to cheat. Okay? Use your knowledge. So here you are with the questions. The Wall Street Journal normally asks the subscribers who buy it 46 different questions based on their characteristics. Your job is, I'm going to show you some of the questions and statements the Wall Street Journal will ask before they sell to you. Your job is to tell me whether it is categorical or numerical, and also whether it is nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. You have 60 seconds. Now, when the time is the countdown, when it is 60 seconds, I'll tell you. When it is 50, I'll tell you. When it is 30, I'll tell you. When it is 20, I'll tell you. When it is 10, I'll start counting 10, 9, 8, 7. And once I say stop, I'll put in my word stop. And once I put in the word stop, anybody who has not submitted his own by that time, your answer will be cancelled. Please, if you have a question, you can ask now. Okay, so once again.
Please, what if some people type slow?
What if what?
What if some people are slow typing?
That's why you got to type early. Okay? If you are slow typing, get it type early. My advice to you is that sometimes when you, whatever you type, if it is categorical or numerical, you type that now, copy, so that you don't type it again. You rather paste and then edit and delete. So let's say that you paste both categorical and numerical. Okay, you just delete the categorical if you rather want numerical. Okay, so that it becomes easier for you to just add the level of measurement, which you know is ordinal, nominal, interval, or ratio. Does that answer your question?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah. So please, are we answering it directly to you? That's a
Correct.
direct message to
Yes, direct message to me here. My system will automate everything. So don't worry. You just have to, you know your answer by the end of this course. Are you ready? Drink water. Drink water. Drink water, Joshua. All right. Let's go to question number 1. And let me get my countdown clock. By the time I finish reading the question, the countdown clock will start. Question 1. What is your age? You have 60 seconds. Go. I know some of you did not hear the rules, so some of you are going to miss it. If you rush in and type quickly, you can never change your answer, just so you know. So you got to time yourself well and get to the end, but also not too end before you give the answer. You have 30 seconds. You have 20 seconds to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. So that is it. Stop. All right. So let's go to the answers you have. Who can voice the answer, the correct answer for us? Who can raise your hand and then voice the correct answer? Yeah, who thinks he wrote the correct answer? But some of the answers you gave me are very, very shocking. Very, very shocking. Somebody wrote an answer. Yes, David.
Numerical ratio.
The answer is numerical and ratio. Okay. It's pure numerical and ratio. So how come somebody will write 46 years, 45 years, another wrote 38 years? Why will you give me your age? Okay. It means the person is not listening. Let's go to the second question. Again, you have 60 seconds. Are you male or female? 60 seconds. Let's go. Are you male or female? You got 60 seconds. Thirty seconds to go. You see, the questions have been given in order of difficulty. So as we go to question 3, question 4, you see that they are getting more difficult. 20 seconds to go. 20 seconds to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. So I just typed stop. And nobody typed after my stop, which means that you've all done it. I'm seeing some great answers. Great answers. Only few are getting it wrong. And I'm surprised that this person actually got it wrong. Okay, so who can give us the answer? Who can tell us the answer? Raise your hand and give us the answer so that your colleagues know that. Theophilus.
That is categorical and nominal.
Very good. Categorical and nominal. And most of you got it. Okay. Now you will be totaling even yourself to know that you have 2 out of the 6 questions. Okay. So that was categorical and nominal. No problem. Who is not clear with any question so far? So who has 2/2 so far? Raise your hand if you have 2/2. If you have 2/2 so far. Some have 1/2. Some have 0/2, to be honest. But many also have 2/2. Okay. Let me see by hands, those of you with 2/2. Now, if you have 2/2, don't be too confident, overconfident. Your number will come down as we go further. So just open your mind and think more as you go. All right, let's go to question 3. Once again, you have 60 seconds to give me the answer. You see, you thought that the 60 seconds, the thing was going to be difficult. It's not that difficult because you have learned, right? Let's go. Be careful. This one is very difficult. When did you first start reading daily graphics? High school, college, early career, mid-career, late career, or retirement? 60 seconds. Be careful with this one because this is very tricky. Whatever answer came to your head first on this one is wrong. So be careful. Be careful. 45 seconds to go. Be careful. 30 seconds to go. 20 seconds. Obi bere. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 5, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Stop, 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 stop. Stop. Okay. Who can give us the answer? Because so many people got this wrong. That's not good. That's not good. Who can give me the answer? Raise your hand and give me the answer. David.
Categorical, ordinal.
It is categorical and it is ordinal. It's ordinal. Really? What did you do that made you write numerical and interval? Yeah. Some of you wrote numerical and interval. Others wrote categorical and nominal. Okay. That is where. Now, if this was a bit tricky and difficult, wait till you look at the next question. Question number 4 is more difficult than the one you just did. Okay. But this one was so clear. Okay, it's categorical and ordinal because the names were even mentioned in order of increasing. Did you see that? It was mentioned in an increasing order. So it should give you a clue. And these are English. Okay. Let's go to question 4. Question 4 is tricky because it can, at some point, it is nominal. At some point, too, is ordinal. At some point, too, is interval. And in fact, at some point, question 4 is also ratio. So be careful. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Don't always stick to the answer that comes to your mind first. Once again, may the good God be with you. Question 4. How long have you been in your job or position? 60 seconds. Be careful. Be careful. Really. Forty seconds. I told you it is going to be difficult. 25 seconds. 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Stop, 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 stop. That's it. This was the worst rank, was the worst level for most of you. Most of you. All right, who can give us the answer? Who was not in any doubt at all? Joseph. Joshua.
Yeah, numerical ratio.
Numerical and ratio. That is a correct answer. Okay. Numerical and ratio. Most of you got it, but others did not at all. Very good. If you are confused at any point, you should let me know why. If you don't understand why the answer is what it is, let me know. Okay. Now, let's go to the next question. This is question 4, but the next question is question 5. It's more difficult than question 4 once again. By the way, let me see those who have 4/4 so far. If you have, you know. Raise your hand if you have 4/4, because you have been giving the answers anyway. So let me see by those of you whom after I release the answers so far, you already know that you have 4/4. Raise your hand. Only one person. Only 2 people have got 4/4. That's shocking. That's bad. That's not good. So you see, later on when you come and tell me that you have 5/5, I will not believe you because only 2. Okay, let's move on to the next. Again, you have 60 seconds. What type of, I think some of you saw the answer. Oh no. Somebody saw, I hope it's not. What type of car do you want to next buy? Let's go. Let's go. Even that, you just watch some of the answers I'm going to get. What type of car do you want to next buy? Be careful. The first answer you saw was correct, but the second one you didn't see. So that one you'll get it wrong. So be careful. 30 seconds to go. Apple. See the way they saw the thing, or see the way they are answering the thing sharp. Apple. And I said some people will get it wrong, and I'm having some getting it wrong. 10, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, stop. All right. So the answer is what? Set Sebe. Are you there? Set Sebe. Set. Set. Yes, David, what is the answer? Anybody, give me the answer.
Categorical and nominal.
Okay, so this is categorical and nominal. Categorical and nominal. That's it. Majority of you got it. Just some 5 people. Very good. So who have 5? Which of you have got 5/5 so far? 5/5. Two people. Okay, let's go to the last one for today. The last one. Be careful with this one. Yes, Hubert. What grade did you get in research methods? Well, I think it's the last button. What grade did you get in research method? Is it A, F, D, B plus, or B? Okay. Be careful. This is 60 seconds. Whatever answer came to your head first was not correct. So double think. "30 seconds. "20 seconds to go. "5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. That's it. Most of you are getting this correct. Some are not. Somebody should tell Sebed, I don't think he's here among us. All his answers are just way off the bar. All right, so who can give us the answer to this question? This is what? Is it numerical and interval? Or is categorical and ordinal? So you have categorical and ordinal. For somebody to say that is numerical and interval, that is serious. That is serious. I haven't started. He said, what grade did you have? Okay. He didn't say what mark did you have. It's a grade. That is why it's not interval, but it's ordinal. Okay, so now let's go to the last one, the most difficult of all, but doable. 60 seconds once again. Oh, that's all. Yeah, that's all. So let me see if I answer those who had 6/6. 6/6. Those who got everything. Hubert and Linda. Ladies and gentlemen, Rashida, you can never be part. You reduce your hand, please. You, there's no way you can be. So you just drop your hand because I'm using this to get the right people. So these are my people who have demonstrated efficacy. Linda and David. What's the other guy? So that's it. You guys with the 6/6 are the ones who will have, I've done something, who will have the most promising results out of all this. So you should know the data type all the time. You should know the level of measurement. Okay? Data in analytics requires that you know whether it's nominal, ordinal, discrete, continuous, interval, or ratio. That's what we just looked at. Okay. Okay. Any question? So I'm going to show you some few things on the screen, and your job is to use this thing, write it down in your book. Okay. I'm going to put you in syndicate groups. Let me see. Breakout rooms. You're going to be organized. You're going to be organized automatically. So I will not be part. Okay. Automatically, you're going to be in breakout rooms. Yours is to categorize this thing into the different skills of measurement. Okay. And you're going to be done. So have you guys seen your groups? Yes. I'm sure you have. Be in your groups. Have you guys seen your groups? Join the groups and then let me see what is going on. You will have, yes, Amma, what's your question?
Sir, please, I'm connected with both my laptop and my phone because of my network. I realized that you've sent me a link to both of them. So I've joined one, the one on my phone.
I just leave the one that you are not.
Okay.
Rashida, why are you here? Set. Rashida. All of these answers you've given should give you an idea about how to extract this. You will get different concepts of this in the exam, and you should be able to execute on. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the entire caboodle for today. Next time we meet, we are going to look at data types. Please come with your Python ready, because you'll be analyzing some things using data types. We'll be looking at the different descriptive statistics. So next meeting is going to be descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics. That's going to be Wednesday, right? Is it Tuesday or Thursday?
Tuesday, 5 p.m.
Tuesday. Okay. It's going to be descriptive statistics. That's what we are going to use. Okay. And I'll send you the slides before we meet. But I've even put something on the group page for you to look at it. If there is no question, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I will see you next time. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.
No, Prof.
Yes.
Hello, Prof. Can we kindly get the